Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and I'm pretty far from being a park ripper, but I sure do love mountain freestyle twins and twins of all types. Next to me is the Capita Spring Break Resort Twin 156. I rode it with Union Atlas and Union Ultra. I also got some time on this with the Ride Deadbolt and the Nidecker Rift Lace. I got this in some good groomers and then some spring conditions that were hard in the morning, pretty soft and pretty uneven in the afternoon. When it comes to sizing, this 156 fit my boot size really well, and until I got it in uneven snow, I thought this was a really good fit for me. The next size up might better fit my weight, but it fit my boot size really well. It felt great underfoot most of the time. When it comes to shape, you have a centered stance, true twin here. The camber profile is camber basically between the bindings, going to a decent amount of early rise into the nose and tail. It's very forgiving, very stable, not very catchy, but still 1 foots and flat bases really well. If you're getting into some 1 foot shit in the park, this'll do it. But if you're just more of a beginner, intermediate, and you want something forgiving that you can progress with to where when you're an advanced expert rider, you still want to have the same board, this will work too. It works with all levels of riders and has a very familiar feel underfoot in all conditions. Now, let's talk flex here. Look at that flex, just nice and soft. It's got nice pop. It's hard to do this in studio, but it really has this give. This is one very easy to butter, very easy to pop kind of ride. The first time I went to tail butter, I almost buttered onto my ass because I was used to such stiffer boards. Then once I got used to it, it was just so easy and effortless to butter and to play around. So if you're really into buttering, this is a good friend. A little energy in the tip and tail, even though it's rocker, it gives a little bit back, which is kind of cool. Not quite like hybrid rocker boards that have that camber near the tip and tail that load a little easier, but still better than a lot of hybrid cambers I tried with this much rocker. Then you get into the pop, and there's some good pop between the feet, a lot more than you would think for this camber profile. I really liked how this popped and engaged in an ollie. It wasn't the poppiest. Like for example, it's no indoor survival. That thing's just on another level than this, but I felt like it was better than the outer space living and had a little more energy than that, which was kind of cool. Now you take this poppy, yet somehow flexy, rubbery personality, and you put it in uneven snow. It did pretty well in hard, uneven snow in the mornings, the spring snow I saw. That wasn't much of a problem, but what I found is when you get into soft, wet, messy, into the day, really thrown around snow, this bucks and bounces around a lot more than most of its peers and competitors. I would say Capita in general is a little more bucky and bouncy than a lot of other brands in these kind of conditions. So it's not really this board in general, it's just one thing that happens with a lot of Capita boards. So when it comes to speed, yeah, there's a little chatter in the nose and tail, but it's nothing terrible, and you don't get this to really bomb the mountain. If you want a fast mountain twin, you want to look somewhere else. When it comes to base glide, Capita's really upped their base glide game. They've done a really good job at making all their bases better. Their really high-end bases are exceptional, but this kind of middle tier, upper middle tier is very good and had just easy glide, better than a lot of boards out there at this price point. Now, when it comes to edge hold, I like a lot of hybrid camber profiles where the camber ends right between the feet. It really allows you to pressure in the edge there, but then you also factor in the death grip that's right in between the feet there, a little extension in the edge on both sides. And that really helps this board grip a little better in harder snow, because often lighter, poppier boards like this, they don't hold their edge that well in harder snow, but this one did. It gripped pretty well. I wouldn't say it's an ice specialist, but still, like, if you hit a surprise patch, it's not gonna ruin your day. It'll keep holding and you won't slide out and let go. Now, when it comes to turn initiation and carving, this board has a quick turn to it. It's not super fast, but whenever I wanted it to go somewhere, it went quickly. And it worked really well for my size 9 boots. And then when I got it over on edge, it was a very balanced turning radius that was just fun doing a little bit of anything. You don't have a lot of camber though, so you don't get a ton of spring, but you get more than you would think for this mellow camber profile. And I had fun making across the groomer carves, borderline circle carves, some medium to wide radius turns, even some down the line narrow S turns. It did it all well. Now, I didn't get this in any powder, but if I was gonna ride powder, I think this would be okay, but I would choose the Spring Break Powder Twin over this Spring Break Resort Twin 10 times out of 10. I just would rather have that wider, floatier board underfoot. This would be a great 2-board quiver. You get this for groomer days, and you like switch riding in powder, you get the Spring Break Powder Twin. It's a perfect mountain freestyle combo. When it comes to ride and switch, this was practically perfect either way. I do miss the old A simulator. That was so fun to ride switch. And for a while it was the Spring Break ASIM Twin or something like that a few years back. Look at one of my old reviews. But I loved how those rode switch a little better than this, but man, it's so close it doesn't matter. For park, yeah, too old for park. I would just say from somebody who's not strong in the park, this would be a great board to get. This is the kind of board I would feel comfortable on in the park. Yet Nick felt great on it as well, and he's a very accomplished, very good park rider. And if you're tracking into small to medium-sized kickers, this tracks really well and has a good, stable feeling underfoot. So overall, the Spring Break Resort Twin might not have that super camber dominant poppy feel that you get from the Outsiders or you get from the Indoor Survival and a lot of other boards like the DOA that has a little more pop on an ollie. And it's not the best in uneven, wet, messy snow, but you get a lively, poppy, easy to butter, playful, forgiving mountain freestyle to park ride that I think a lot of people could really like, especially if you're on the lower end of their recommended weight range. This is a great fit.